change of fate would become a fleeting, fragile, vacuous thing, bereft of the cycle. Naught would be born into its safe chaos.
It was some time before I managed to wrangle my spells under control. Well, I'm a thief now. If there is a skill or talent to be learned, I shall...
No longer do I feel the probing gaze of the Watching One. Is this your doing, newest of the... I am he who brought the dragon low, and o'er its bones raised that despite the magnitude of my feat, I was dissatisfied, and sought ere greater heights, till at last I ruled the world entire. Thus did I come to know of the Watching One, the being by whose many eyes and ears no one or thing in this world goes. As to the purpose with which they watch, I know not, yet I did divine one thing. This world has lain neath the Watching One's unwavering gaze ere I despaired at this discovery. For, if all is but a stage, did that not render my hard-won glory? Aye, 'twas all a farce. Do you understand, newest of the arisen? This is why I sought to fell the Watching. Alas, though I cut down all who seemed false, be they man or woman, indeed, my efforts led only to my own. I was dubbed the Mad Sovereign, and by the hand of a new arisen, consigned to this place forever. Yet, I can only assume that you have achieved what I could. How else to explain the changes I sense in the world? Ah, what bitter gall that I falter not, newest of the arisen. For and fading spirit though I am, I may yet summon those who can.
I see you have returned, Arisen One. The Mad Sovereign has called, and so we answer. If you would save the people of this world from ruin, lead them here. For this place may chance to escape the coming destruction.
I imagine the people of this world will welcome the tidings that there is a place of refuge awaiting them. Indeed, you are correct. This might be worth a read. Shall we take a closer look?
Your Majesty, how glad I am to see you safe. Where have you been this past month? The end of the world? Are things truly low? I am aware of the dragon attack on Melv. We received word that naught but a smoking ruin remains. 'Twas a tragedy, and I would not see it repeated. However, without a clear path, we in the Guard shall be hard-pressed to forestall the impending crisis. You would have me evacuate the city? I see. Ever since the fall of Melv, the citizens of Vernworth have lived in fear that their homes are next to be assailed. If there is safe harbor to be found elsewhere, I believe we have naught to lose by seeking sanctuary. But I doubt I could convince the people of this city to abandon their homes, however terrified they may be. Methinks your Majesty would do better to ask this of the Regent King. After the false sovereign vanished and the world was altered, His Grace has been the one keeping order here in Vermont. If the people will heed anyone, 'tis him.
Maintaining order in Vermund must be quite a burden upon the young Regentkin. Let us aid him however we may.
So you've come. I'm glad to see you. Captain Brandt has already apprised me of your proposal, a full-scale evacuation of the citizenry. Truth be told, I had reached the same conclusion. So long as we cower within these walls, we must live in fear of going the way of Melv. My ministers have approved the plans, and I have petitioned the encampment survivors and the Thieves' Guild for aid. The only remaining obstacle is my mother. She has set herself stubbornly against. I have tried to make her see reason, but of late she has taken to shutting herself in her chambers. However, I fear that my position permits me to entertain her fancy no longer. I must put the needs of the common folk before her selfish whims. Now, there are a few matters I must attend to before we can evacuate, and I would fain welcome your assistance. We will require several ox carts to carry the sick and aged out of the city. Might I prevail upon you to petition the merchant at the ox cart station? In the west, you may assure him that the royal treasury will foot any and all expenses.
Queen Regent Disa hardly leaves her chambers, and all her meals come back scarcely touched. Between you and me, I fear for her health.
Have you come to claim my life, Arisen? Well, but I shall go to the grave with a smile on my lips, for I have no regrets. All I did, So do as you will. I have no intention of begging.
What are you doing? Unhand me at once! Guards, help me!
You have brought Mother to me, I see. My thanks, friend.
Sven.
You may leave us. Now that we can speak without a door twixt us, I am confident that I can persuade her. Not what to make of this.
What's to be done about it?
But not at the expense of my duty.
As long as I get my gold, who takes the carts is no concern of mine. His Grace is welcome.
We have chartered the ox guards as requested. 'Tis a pleasant change for things to go so smoothly, eh, Master?
I concur.
Mother, I must beg your forgiveness. I believed that you desired to make me sovereign solely for your own benefit. Yet in truth, you sought to better the lot of our people.
Ah, but I would have benefited. Besides, I cannot deny that I was proud. I wish to see my own son on the throne, and know...
Even so, I cannot help but feel that all of this could have been... If I had but better known your heart, I could have shared in your burdens. You would not have had to suffer alone, and perhaps...
Oh, Sven.
Mother, I beg you, join the evacuation. I would not see you take your crime. That weight is as much a...
My son, you truly would make. Your kindness will save men...
Ah, you've returned. How fares your procurement of those carts? You do? My thanks. That puts paid to the last of our preparations. I will inform the citizenry.
Fanne. Nun ve oyonda atar.
Oh, you return. I am so happy you were gone so long. I was very worried. Oh. You think we should leave the arbor? I am not sure my father will like that idea. But I can try to convince him. Please. As arborist, Sir Taliesin is the leader of the Elven people. Let us follow our guide that we might speak with him.
Indeed, you are correct.
Findelnar, nevea nolwende lis kemen. Morivin lis palan oio eromar meltol netara.
Kasinke telpi nun findaler, nun mor arta her. Fionar elwe arfarne nenwen sur orne, iavstir lalastar.
Morvani morivin Findelnar, nevea tara morivin. Lis fa aldakar kemen ros. Yav morin garina laikasar kemen ros iloratu anfir tara. Et elep surne kemen ros herenon yav kuruir, falis isil rod lintar. Ne yav alecano vea nun sinde lungtena.
Nun is amanda kill angadur femor.
Herenon nun lia Findelnar. Lia we Findelnar morivin orne osto. Firnis morivin. Morivin kemen tur alecano. Menelum hiroth mor karilm anardor.
Alcarwa fir nun eldaya ane martir tindume ingarina fa alme Alcarwa. Et aler lea fermor eldalia eralotte. Sorne an fameltol. Vanalin hirosh soron. Kasinke telpi nun findaler. Lera nefir heranon, anne artaher firnist.
Only time will tell whether the cutting shall take root. For now, let us make for the seafloor shrine.
By your leave.
Bail, Fanamo Nemetani.
Isilrod Fanan?
Halana fire mine.
One could not have hoped for a gladder outcome.
Materials, eh? I shan't deny, they have their uses.
Kemen Ross.
Kasinke telpi nun finaler. Lera ne fir heranon, anne arta her firnis. Aidalia anandor, nun lintan. Heror anne oja fermor, anendune...
Nenamboe javstir uru findelnar. Liateren kemen ros urun leteren, ne romen an artelpe minasvana. Nun kemen ros osto luin eldalia, ne kemen...
Luintaremi kinailen meltol, parante lume an lis, ne meltol linkan aldakar, an fir nun fiamor.
Palan hjarmenran, lis fa arnefane. Elorato ala, nun mor arta her. Nenwen mor aiwanon, alcarwa fir nun eldaya, iavstir lalastar. Nun falasmir.
I thank you, friend. It would be no exaggeration to say that you have saved my people.
Your fight continues, does it not? Be well.
You've pushed your luck too far. I'll not take that from you.
Pray calm yourselves, good people. I will have none of this squabbling.
So, Manella, you don't understand. This scoundrel's the one who started it.
No, you don't understand. This is no time for the people of Batal to be quarreling amongst themselves. We shan't weather this calamity unless we can recall our common purpose and unite our efforts towards it. Ah, Sir Arisen. You are returned, I see. With the world in such disarray, I could not stand to be away from my homeland. Thus did I return, to render what aid I may. I maintain order as best I can. But for every fire I extinguish, it seems 3 more are incited behind my back. But enough of my woes. What brings you here? You wish us to evacuate? Mayhap the idea merits some thought. After all, if we sit on our haunches, 'tis likely only a matter of time before we share the fate of Mel. Alas. The people of Batal are far from united in purpose at present. Should we proceed, unheeding of their divisions, I fear that our efforts would come undone ere long, with every soul at their wits' end. Conflict is like to spark at the slightest provocation. As such, before we take any measures, I would have you walk amongst the people, Sir Arisen. Behold them, and should you encounter any discord, pray do aught you can to resolve the people's quarrels and assuage. Such efforts will doubtless allow the evacuation to proceed all the more smoothly. As for me, my work here is far from done. Let us part ways for now, and reconvene when you have accomplished.
Flared tempers are understandable given the circumstances. Let us aid in mediating the quarrels arising in Bakbаттala.
Right you are.
What are you waiting for? Now's your chance! I don't have enough to do.
I've had well enough of your nitpicking.
I reckon the world would be better off without you.
Oi, you! Don't go poking your nose in our business. This is between...
Aye, leave off or we'll make you.
Have you lost your bloody mind?
Reckon you can just cut us down in the street? What's the matter with you? Eh? Fine, fine. We'll set our squabble aside for today.
Well met.
My legs are fair numb.
All I need. All this work. Looking for all this.
I see which one.
Oi! I saw it first. Phew. Trust a flea-ridden hide to take it all for himself.
Why must I share with a fangless one? This is no more your food than Bacbаттala is your land.
You there! You couldn't have come at a better time. Put this upstart in his place for me, won't you? Go on, lay into it. If that's what you think, why don't you mind your own business?
All right, clear off. Pretty words shan't fill our...
During my time with Lord Phases,
How dare you?
Am I?
You'll get what's coming to...
That's quite enough.
Stop this, father! Unbelievable.
Oi, leave my kid alone.
What's that you've got? Why, 'tis half rotten. Do you mean to poison my child?
I say we call a truce while we put paid to this scoundrel.
Aye, agreed. A menace like this oughtn't be left to roam the streets.
Never heard such nonsense.
I don't like the look
I
of this.
Fie, that hurts! We're done for! I ne'er stood a chance.
Leave off before you earn my spite. Am I? This is nice. Going to make it. More the merrier.
Look around if you must, but be sure to buy all the best out of my cake.
Ah! You're just riding on your father's coattails!
You slander my honor, sir! This is no business of yours! Begone!
Now, Narborough, let's not be too hasty. If we are to duel, otherwise who's to say that—
Aye, true enough. Without a witness, either of us— Well, sir, what say you? Will you watch over us while I take this scoundrel to task? This knave dared to slight my honor. He said my swordsmanship was hardly fit to wound a training dummy.
And I'd say it again. 'Twas your dear father's patronage that made you a sentinel, not your own skill.
You have my gratitude, sir.
Have at you!
Utterly
How dare you interrupt a battle between honorable opponents!
Such humiliation shan't go unanswered.
Look at us, put in our place like a pair of...
I ought to thank you for holding up a mirror to our foolishness. We've better...
Aye, consider your lesson well taught.
I was most surprised when you intervened in their duel. Did you aim to temper their pride by proving neither your equal?
Outstanding.
Ah, Sir Arisen. In less pressing circumstances, I would take issue with your methods. But the people of Battahl are beginning to see that they must stand together if they are to survive this calamity. We shall see the fruits of your labors when the time comes to evacuate. At the very least, we need not expect too much opposition to the announcement. Pray, return to Empress Nadinia and apprise her of your doings. I must remain here to ensure no further squabbles arise. Heavens only know how many lives you have saved this day. I hope you will accept this humble reward for your efforts.
What say we report back to Empress Nadinia? Her Majesty ought be willing to commence the evacuation now. I am well aware of the particulars.
Her Majesty has begun her supplications. None may see her ere they conclude.
Stay your hand, Vera. This one may pass. Come hither. We would speak with you. One of our ministers informs us that you have been espied in the city, resolving the people's troubles. You have our gratitude for your efforts, which have doubtless bettered the fate of this nation and its citizenry. Your journey continues. We wish you good fortune on your travels, wheresoever—
Pray excuse the interruption, Your Majesty, but I fear time is upon us. I would see you prepared for the road ahead.
Indeed. Forgive us, but we must take our leave. Farewell.
Bakbаттala and the rest down are now safely evacuated. I'm certain we can rely upon
Ah, I remember you. What brings you to the encampment? 'Tis a miracle you're still alive, though I dare say that's true of all of us. Oh? You believe we ought to evacuate? Well, you traveled far indeed to deliver these tidings. Farther, I dare say, than anyone would go for the sake of an idle jest. If we must leave, we shall have to begin preparations at once. But I think we're a bit short on hands to attend to all that must be done. In fact, there's a rather delicate matter that I could use some help with. A blacksmith and his wife dwell on the encampment outskirts. Might you escort them here, so that they can join the evacuation? The smith, Gustava, is a man of good sense, but as for his wife... well, suffice to say, Cleuna has always been a contentious sort. She'd have naught to do with us, given the choice, and isn't likely to take kindly to the arrival of any of my knights on her doorstep. I can only hope that she will be more willing to listen to you, a third party, as to it. And while you're taking care of that, I will see to it that the encampment is made ready to depart with all due haste.
Ah, I remember the blacksmith.
Well now, whatever brings you here? These are You'd have us evacuate with the encampment? I am touched by your kindness, friend, but we'll manage on our own. I couldn't bear to be pressed in among those crowds.
Now, now, I'll hear none of that. I'll see you to safety, my dear. Come, besides, I should hope this good soul has earned your trust by now. Helped me out of a tight spot on more than one occasion, if you'll recall. After all that goodwill and the long trek out here to warn us, we'd seem mighty ungrateful, turning our back on another helping hand extended only in kindness.
Oh, very well, my love, if you insist. It seems we'll be accepting your offer after all, friend. Would you be so kind as to escort us to our destination?
Let us see our charges to the encampment, but be mindful. The path seems much changed since last we walked it.
Well, here we are. How long before the evacuation begins, I wonder?
Would you find Ser Ernesto and tell him we've arrived? Let him know that we'll wait here till the time comes.
Sir, I implore you to reconsider. Surely you can see that the situation is dire.
How many times must I say it? I'll not be ordered about. Not by ye, not by anyone. Now bugger off and leave me alone.
Ah, good. You're back. I'm afraid there's another matter for which I must beg your assistance. It concerns the fellow I was just speaking with. Sir Lamond, his name is. The man's something of a regular at our hot springs. I sought him out to tell him of the evacuation, but he has flatly refused to join. I must confess, I'm at a loss as to how I might convince. Could I prevail upon you to... At this point, methinks anything I say will fall on...
Sir Lamond is as mighty as 100 soldiers. 'Twould be reassuring to have his aid. Shall we speak with him?
You have my support. The clouds have already swallowed so much of this world.
Panicking will avail us not.
I know precisely when a curative is needed, Master. You'll never fall in battle so long as...
One can never have too many materials. I'll harvest some now.
Fancy a look at my wares? Fancy meeting ye here, cuz. Did you want something? Not this again. I'm here to live my life as I see fit. I'll not be ordered about by anyone. Not even ye. Oh, bollocks. Of course you'd make a decent request like that. Aye, fine. I'll do it. See, can't say I'll be glad to leave this place behind, but you've my word. I'll get them to safety.
Sir Lamond shall be a boon to the evacuation effort. Let us inform Sir Ernesto of our success.
Right you are.
Now this is a conundrum.
I cannot thank you enough for all you've done. We shall fare much better on the road with Sir Lamont's arm to defend us. 'Twill be slow going, mind. We have wounded whom we must accommodate. Yet, come what may, I swear to see them all to safe harbor.
Thank you, friend. I dread to think what might have become. This place does not have long left, I fear. We ought to... I'd gladly accompany you. Leave me. Follow me. You'll see what I mean.
I'll collect that. You needn't trouble yourself.
Tis a jail of sorts, this place. A compound where we set captured pawns to work. They were supposed to be digging up old ruins or some such. I confess, I don't know all of the ins and outs of the operation. Underlings like myself were given orders, and little else, you see.
A treasure chest. Shall we see if we can't make our way over to it?
Tis locked, Arisen.
Well, here you have it. They've been like this for a month straight now. They refuse to leave. You might as well try talking to a wall. You'll have more luck. I know they don't die like we do, but it seems cruel to abandon them here, all the same. I never wanted to be here, you know, taking part in all of this. The enslavement of pawns doesn't sit well with me. I suppose that's why I can't bring myself to leave them behind. Either that, or the current state of the world helps to put things in perspective. At any rate, I've tried everything I can think of to get them out, but naught's done any good. I'm at rather a loss.
The command came a month ago or more. We are to remain here, and so we remain.
I implore you, Arisen. Take me with you.
So they're staying here because they were ordered to remain. And they told you that, did they? Strange. I couldn't get a word out of them. I wonder why they saw fit to speak with you. But never mind that. More importantly, you've given me an inkling of the problem at hand. It was the Overseer's doing, methinks. When the world changed, that craven up and ran for his life. But on his way out, he used that artifact they call the God's Way to command the pawns to protect him. I expect that order of his is what the pawns were referring to. But why would they continue to obey when the man is long gone? Unless... Listen, friend. I've a thought. What say you have a look around and see what you can turn up? If the Overseer's command is indeed still in effect, it could be that he is lurking somewhere not far from here. Use that key to have a look around. It should open any doors you come across. Best keep your eyes peeled for the Overseer as well. I have a feeling he's still lurking about here somewhere.
Pawns need only obey the true Arisen. I suspect one of those spelled artifacts employed at the coronation is at work here.
Indeed, you are correct. I suppose we might as well gather what we can.
There's a ladder here.
We ought to put it to good use.
So the pawns were being held here by the power of this god sway. Now they ought be free to make good their escape.
I concur.
Master, my heart knows no greater peace than when I am by your side.
So, there was naught left of the Overseer but bones, eh? I'll wager he thought to take the pawns with him to the grave. He always was a spiteful old goat. At any rate, I'm well grateful for your aid, friend. Now that the pawns are on their feet, methinks I can get them to safety. I only hope they'll heed my words as they have yours. But I'm not worried. I'll find a way to reach them in time, no doubt. My word! Isn't this the God's sway? With this, I'll be able to guide the pawns to the refuge without delay. Now there's no chance of any of them being left behind. Seems I've no end of things to thank you for, my friend. I appreciate all you've done here. I'll get the pawns to safety, don't you worry.
'Tis strange to think a god's sway would be used to guide my brethren to safety. After all the woe they have caused us.
A result to be proud of.